Hello everybody, my name is Level 5 and of course welcome to Level 5, the place where we talk about movies, TV shows, video games and comic books. And I have just come home from seeing Avatar, Fire and Ash. As of recording this video, we're still on 2025, so of course let's roll that intro so we can dive in. If you guys are brand new to this channel, basically this is my at a cinema experience where I talk about the movie, non-spoiler review and all that such. So Avatar, Fire and Ash is of course our third installment, and it's actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's 3 hours long. This movie is a long film, and I feel like the one thing this movie lacks, I think is the best word to put it, is the exploration. There is a new clan, obviously, as you know from the trailer. There is the Ash people, and I feel like we don't get much of them. We get their backstory, we learn who they are, but that's about it. I wanted to see more. And that is one thing that the first two Avatar movies did really well. Obviously, Avatar introduced us to the world of Pandora and the way the Avatar system works and all that stuff. And Avatar 2 introduced us to not only more of Pandora, but a whole new tribe, a whole new way of life. You know, a whole different ecosystem. Yeah, this one doesn't fall into the same box. Which is, I understand this film does feel like it carried on straight from the second one. And you know, you can definitely tell it was like recorded and CGI'd and all that stuff within, you know, similar fashion. It does honestly feel like you're watching a direct sequel to the second one, which is great. But I wish there was more exploration, if that makes sense. Character development is very good in this movie, I'll give it that. It is slow because this movie is 3 hours long. They do take their time. But the character development in this movie is really good. And they actually did stuff with almost all the main characters. Actually, I'm gonna state, I think Jake's the one character that doesn't actually have that much character. I think he's the least developed character in the entire movie. I feel like every character had a decent progression in their story other than Jake. But Jake has had 2 movies to do that with. So maybe it was just that. Who knows? Anyway, I did enjoy all our little character progressions. Each character has a nice little storyline, other, you know, than Jake, pretty much. And there's definitely more lore building with the characters. There's characters that have inner conflict, there's characters that have outer conflict, and it's just a fun time. Honestly, it really is. I feel like when it comes to the CGI and all that stuff, it still holds up. It does really hold up. There's one moment in the film near the end where something in particular looks a bit wank, something in particular gets shown, something new, and it just looks a bit like... really? Sort of thing. But other than that, the CGI looks really good. There is a distinct look between the Ash people, of course. They are a slightly different colour. They wear a lot of, like, you know, face paint and body paint and stuff. And I feel like the ending is the worst part about this film, story-wise. The last, like, 2 minutes. This film had me into the very last 2 minutes. I wouldn't say it let down the whole movie, because again, I enjoyed the movie. I went with my buddy James, and he said it was good, just like, you know, it is kind of samey. I feel like the last 2 minutes let it down. I don't feel like there was a good enough conclusion. and I don't feel like this movie ended in a satisfying way, which is a letdown, but it doesn't let down the whole movie, if that makes sense. I did really enjoy there's certain conversations between Jake and his wife, and I found those conversations really interesting, and it plays a part in her character development, and I found them really, really interesting. And it could some parts of this movie could come across a bit like, kind of like they're shoehorning in real life issues, but I didn't see it like that. But I can see why people would see it like that, but I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that at all, and I feel like this film did a good job progressing a lot of characters in good ways, not bad. Again, like I said, Jake's the least developed character in this movie. He's got the least amount of story progression, but I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that works really well. I don't mind that at all. The action, oh my god, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. This is a very I'm on the fence type thing. There are moments in this film where the action is so intense, the music is really good, there's so much going on that you actually feel like this might be the final act. This is like the third act. This is the last part of the film. And then it dies down, you're back to peaceful, calm conversations for a little while. And it's just like, it happens at least 3 times. I can remember, I can call in my head 3 times. James, whoever else went to go see this film in the cinema, you may think, if you think the same, you may think there's more. But I'm saying there's 3 times where this movie feels like it's about to end. This is the third act. This is the final, confrontation. Holy fuck, it's good. Music, the drama, and then everything dies down and we're back to conversations and, character development and lore building and, progression in the storyline and other things are happening and something else said, and oh my god, it happens again! And it's just like, there's a action sequence, and honestly, it feels like the end of the movie. It feels like that is the end of the film, because it's only like a certain amount of characters, and it's like, oh my days, and then new. It's not the end of the movie. Which, again, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm on the fence. Let me know how you feel about that. How do you feel about, when a movie, in particular Avatar Fire and Ash, when, it leaves you on the fence. You don't know, brand new going into a film, you don't know if this is the third act or not. Again, I'm not looking at my phone, and I'm not checking the time, seeing how long I got left watching this movie. And in the cinema, you can't check how long you got left. You can't pause it, But this movie is actually really good. And I have thought about it, and, I've come back and I've thought about it for a while, and honestly, I love the Avatar movies. I think they're great. There is one issue I have with this movie, and it does tie into the fact of the last 2 minutes of the conclusion. And I now am a little concerned about the 4th movie because of how the 3rd movie ends. And if they repeat themselves again in the 4th movie, I may have to shoot James Cameron in the face. But other than that, it's good. Do let me know what you guys think of Avatar Fire and Ash in the comments down below. Do let me know if you guys went to go see this in the cinema, or you're going to wait until it drops, on streaming platforms. Either way, it's fine. Do let me know when you've watched this film, and let me know your thoughts on it, how you rate it and everything. And yeah, with that being said, do hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell if you guys haven't already. Thank you all for tuning in. We are back to our regular scheduled programming after this video. I just wanted to get both the both the outer cinema experience from the later end of December out as quickly as possible. So with that being said, I do love you all raw with passion, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.